Hey, Luana. Thank you for
Oh,
accepting the invitation for an interview, and welcome to MetalKaoz, even though we missed each other by 40 minutes, but that's fine.
oh, did we? What happened?
I don't know. I know you are in Portugal right now, right?
Yeah. Um, Interesting. Oh well,
That's fine. That's fine. It's Saturday, so how's the tour going so far?
it's going well. We're almost at the end now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have what, 4 days more?
Yeah, I think
Like
something
that.
like that.
I feel like I need to apologize because I didn't know that the band is still having issues with financial issues after this mishap we had here, you had here in the US with your RV and all this crap you had to go through.
We paid everything off now. With the help of people mainly. I would say majority of the money we got to pay off our debts from the US tour came from people actually, people's helps online.
Mhm.
But yeah, gladly we just paid it off not a long time ago actually. Now
Very good.
we're free from that, but it was tough for a while.
Oh man. Did this situation added any more stress now that you are back on tour? Do you feel that you have more, I don't know, stress? Let's call it stress only.
Well, when we were on tour in the US, was very stressful to be dealing with that while we were also touring in an RV and doing a million other things. Especially because in the US, we didn't really have like a crew with us. It was just like us and our tour manager and friend. And so, yeah, it was very stressful to be dealing with, all the legal stuff and what we could and could not do about the situation. But now that we are in Europe and it's all passed now and all paid, it's all good again, gladly.
Question, because I'm guessing you still want support and the band needs to survive to keep releasing music. So the physical copy of Shades of Sorrow, we can only buy that, especially in the US, through Napalm Records, right?
Yes, right now that's the case. I think after the album is released, you will be able to find in many other stores and distros. But right now, since it's a pre-order, it's just from Napalm.
Well, I was looking if you have something more direct to the band, something like that. But yes, I got
Uh,
this.
in the future, we will.
Good, good. Okay, so when Shades of Sorrow was ready, when have you finished working on that, recording everything?
Uh, when was that? I think we were done with recording and everything in February, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
not sure. And then in March, we were ready with the mix and the master and everything. So it's all very new even for us. We're still like learning the songs, memorizing them because we barely recorded it and then just started touring. We didn't even have time to rehearse the new album or anything. But we'll be doing that very soon.
Of course. And you have Jessica joining Crypta.
Yeah, we do.
So was she involved in the making of the album?
She did the solos, like her solos, but she didn't participate in the compositions yet. Because when Jessica got in the band, we very much had the entire album ready and written. And so what we could do it was to give her the space to write all her own solos. So that's definitely all hers.
So what were you looking for when you were searching for a new guitarist?
Mainly someone from Brazil to make the costs more doable for us. Someone our age range, I would say, like not too much younger or too much older, because I think that can affect the point of view on tour of what you're doing and stuff. And someone that could play the songs and was professional enough to be on tour, I guess, because there are many great female musicians, and certainly in Brazil you can find many, but it's very difficult to find female musicians that are up to like go and just live off music and touring around. Because with Crypta, we barely see our families. We don't have another job except from this. We don't do anything else than touring basically. So you have to be able to find someone that is up to that, which is very difficult amongst the female musicians. So we're very glad we found Jessica that was already living off music with her other bands and lives close in Brazil and was up to play our songs and likes the genre and everything.
It's interesting to hear after all these years that the metal scene doesn't have lots of females. I mean, I thought that we should have gotten better in that aspect.
Yeah, it's sad, but also I think that there is not a lot of representation. There wasn't a lot of representation, so it's hard to get more people to get into it. If you're not seeing females doing it, you're probably not gonna start doing it as well, or at least some will, but mostly won't. Like when I started playing drums, I just remember that all my influences and idols were guys, and I don't remember any extreme female drummer that I could look up to and be like, oh, that's another idol of mine, you know. Like I just remember having guys and men as idols. So I hope in the future more women can like see us and find a band and find it cool and be like, oh, I can also do that, you know, and I can do it better even. You know, if I practice more, I can do it even better. So I hope females find that out in the future more. And that especially one thing that I always repeat, I repeat myself a lot over that, but that in the future also females just play music because of being passionate about it and just really like enjoying the music aspect of it. Because I think many bands still like lean towards the visual appeal of having a female band, and I just think it's so bad for the scene amongst the females that most bands are just leaning towards that, you know. I think we shouldn't be able as fans to tell the difference between a female and a male band at all. Not the visual, not the sound, not the visuals, not anything. It should just be people playing music for passion. So I hope that's something that females in the future will completely disconsider and understand that it just hurts the scene and the image for other female musicians. I hope that's something that changes, really. It's something that we're trying to do with Crypta.
So between you and me, we have probably 2 decades of age difference. And I'm sad to say that I haven't seen a big difference to what you just described. And it for me, it saddens me because really the only thing should matter is whether the metal you're playing is good or bad, nothing else. I don't care if you are green, if you are blue, if you are whatever, but anyways, I don't know. Hopefully, yes, you can bring some change, especially coming from a country that has so many great bands. I
agree.
And great fans too, I should add. Why did you choose Shades of Sorrow as the album's title?
Sorry?
Why did you choose that title for the new album?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's like, it's not a conceptual album, we say. It's we call it semi-conceptual, because it's not just like one huge story throughout all the lyrics, but all the lyrics are just about one big theme. So, you know, and it's all about the processes, I don't know how to say this in English, of pain that one person can go through, like how, you know, anger can come from a place of sadness or depression, or what this and that feels like. It's just like this huge process of going through lots of different kinds of pain. And then we just decided that Shades of Sorrow would be kind of the vibe of the album.
Although I think just by reading the intro that you have, the aftermath, it's the sorrow that you have after something bad happened, right? So it's the phases that you go through after that. Correct?
Yeah, we decided to start the album with something really like down, because this person is suffering a lot when the album starts and has to go through all that pain. And so you read about all the pain throughout all of the songs. Even like in the intro, you can hear the person struggling to play the piano, playing a little wrong, and you can hear like the chair cracks and everything. And in the end, after you go through all the pain, then you're like better and feeling like a whole new person. And then at the end, we have the same thing that plays at the beginning, but being played correctly in a more peaceful way. Not in a positive way, because still a death metal band, but I would say in a more peaceful way.
Yeah, there is a disturbing feeling as you hear the aftermath. Then things a little bit go a tad better at the limbo, but then in the closer, as you said, sounds good, but still the sadness is overwhelming there. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, makes sense now. And how this, let's say, not a concept as you said, how this connects with a cover artwork. I know that you are doing cover artworks, right? At least you did once for your previous band, right?
Yeah, I used to work as a graphic designer. For Crypta, I'm not doing the cover arts because I don't know how to like paint and draw and stuff. But I do the layouts still for merchandise and flyers, and help with the artistic process with the artists and so on. The cover was everyone got ideas for this cover art. We kind of like put all together, and I made that little sketch to send to the artist. It was an artist called Raul Campos that did it from Mexico. This guy had never worked with bands before, so it was very interesting. I had to like explain him that it was a cover art for a band, and that we needed like squared and everything. It was super different from my previous talks with artists, because he just didn't do that. And it's basically this person that is going through all the pain, like covered in this. Instead of putting someone bleeding, we thought it would be better to just have someone covered in a red fabric. It was more symbolic and less literal, I guess, because we weren't talking about physical pain, so it wouldn't be very fitting to have someone just bleeding out. And we put all these symbolic swords facing this person coming towards it, and it's just sitting there in space. It's not tied up, so this person could eventually just stand up and go away, but it's almost like it's choosing to sit there and go through all this process of pain. So you can see that the ropes are untied, but it's sitting in that position as if it was tied anyways. And yeah, it's a very simple concept actually, but it's we decided to portray it in a very symbolic and kind of what is the word?
No,
not very
not very literal. It's
dreamy way.
You have to think a little bit, and that's good.
Yeah.
And that's good. So, did you give to the artist any samples of the music? Did he listen to the album?
We didn't. I don't think he knows the kind of music that he just painted for. But after we release the album, I'll gladly send him like copies of the CD and stuff if he wants to listen to. I think he will find it interesting. Yeah, he's a very different artist, very classical artist even.
Oh, well, expanding your horizons. That's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
What about the producers for this one? And I'm comparing this with the first album. You changed producers, although you stick with Jens Borgen for the mixing. So what were you looking for from the new producer?
We just we didn't really have a reason to change from Arthur that did our first album. We absolutely love that dude. As a person and as a mixer, he's just awesome. But in the first album, because it was our first, we wanted to sound very, very raw, just sound like we played, like if you were listening to us play just in front of us, like no embellishments or anything, just like raw from the studio. Because it was the first album, and we thought that was the best and more honest way to, I don't know, release the band first time. So we were sure that what you listen in the album, it would be played just the same way live, because it was very much what we played in studio. And for this second album, we thought of trying to have a more of a clean sound, a little bit more produced, sound more. It's far from plastic, because we hate sounding plastic. We're very against that. But we didn't embellish anything either, but definitely wanted to sound a little more clean and not as raw and as live as we sounded in the first. That was basically why we changed the mix person. I think Arthur would do an amazing job. We just thought of, I don't know, changing for a little to see what would happen and what people would think about it. But yeah, we are very satisfied with both mixes. Even though they are different, we are very happy with both of them.
But this decision has to be connected with the songwriting, because to my ears at least, the album has more layers, more complex structures, tempo changes. So you have a little bit, let's say, complicated your songwriting, right? Like,
Yeah,
get deeper.
we did. Yeah, we did it. We always try to play things that are harder than the last things we played. So we also push ourselves as musicians, like to be playing more difficult stuff and to grow bigger with the band. I think if you just stay comfortable all the time, you're not going anywhere, right? At least it's what we think. So we try to get a little better, but we didn't think about that when we chose different mix. It was more about just like changing, since it's just a second album, changing it in the future, looking back and trying to find out what people prefer the most. Like what do people like the best from Crypta? Like the more clean sound and a little more produced, or do they prefer like the old school raw stuff? We don't know. Like we have our individual preferences in the band that we differed sometimes, but we wanted to just kind of do something different and be able to look back in the future and say what people like the most. Maybe that will also help us choose what we do in the third album.
Well, honestly, whatever you guys like, just record it, put it out, and if everyone likes that, they will like that. I mean, you know what I'm saying. I don't like because it's relatively young group. I don't want you to change the way you play or write music just because to please, let's say, some.
Oh no.
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 I know what you're saying, but I hope you understand what I'm saying too.
Yeah, I do. We would never write music to please people. That's the main point. We gotta play music because we like. Yeah.
There you go. And I was thinking Stronghold. That must be the longest song Crypta has written. That's super awesome song.
Thank you. It's one of my favorite songs, if not my favorite from the album.
Yeah, that, and again, I for whatever the reason I chose the longest one. Lord of Ruins is the same, the same depth, the same. There is some darkness there, some sadness, and then there are the blast beats, almost blast beats. So that's what I was talking about. What I was talking about, the music getting more complex, adding more colors, if you may.
Yeah.
So. And there is another song that I would like to ask you about, Lullaby for the Forsaken.
Yeah.
First of all, that melody that Fernanda is humming in the beginning, is that, it may sound silly, is that from an actual lullaby?
Yeah, it is.
Really? Oh man. Okay, and then does she says a name? Does she say a name?
She says, I think Rush now. Fernanda would explain that better, but I think she says Rush.
Okay, because I was thinking there is a name. So that's a lullaby, right?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, that's cool.
Natural.
Okay. That's interesting. Okay, so what are the touring plans right now? As we said in the beginning, you have, I think 5, 6, I don't remember how many days you have left. And then how is the rest of 2023 looks for you?
This year till the end of the year, of course, we have more touring to do. We have some shows in Brazil. We have a little tour in Mexico, I think, coming up in the end of the year, and some festivals. We opened for Ghost. Sorry. We opened for Ghost also this year, which was going to be big for us. And except for that, we are also having some free time, which is very unusual for us. We just tour all around nonstop always. But this year we decided to take some breaks here and there to be able to rehearse the new album properly and go home and play these things over and over. We are also like all getting new gear to play live. So we all have to go home and like test our new gear and really decipher how it's gonna be live for the new album. So yeah, we're still gonna tour, but we're having lots of free time till the end of the year to be able to work on stuff properly.
What about the US?
We're gonna come back to the US. Not this year, unfortunately, because of visa. It's very, very hard for Brazilians to go to the US always, but we are already working on it. So next year we can go back to the US for sure, or at least we hope so if our visas allow us to go back.
Oh man, I hope you guys make it here, because as I said, the album is awesome, and Crypta deserves more airtime here in the US. You deserve this. Thank you very much for your time. Please stay safe, have great shows, and safe travels.
Thank you so much. Thanks for inviting me.
Absolutely. Bye-bye.
Bye.